Urbanek, and this is my second persuasive speech. I, for one, have never had the urge to commit any crime or violate any law after playing a video game, whether it is a car racing game or a war-fighting game. I also have younger siblings that have played fighting games and have never showed any sign of violence to friends, family, or others. Of course, I believe mass media has something to do with how we act sometimes, but it's always not the bad things. It is how people perceive things. They can look at a fighting war game as just a game to entertain or a new way to discover ideas of revenge. Most of any young adults I know that still play video games look at it as a way of entertainment. According to the video game violence controversy, teenagers or other minors are exposed to violence everywhere. I am going to persuade you that video games do not promote violence, that there are positives that come out of playing video games, and what the real reasons behind video games are. First is the most extreme situations and the most unlikely. Video games make kids most prone to show their violent behavior, not causing it or inciting it. Violence is something that is natural in all human beings. Video games are shown to not have long-term effects on personality and general nature. Most companies are to the point where they are switching focus to promote education. By the time kids reach the age to play video games, they already have a sense of morality and ethics. Whether it is by parents or other friends of the child, children will learn. According to Don't Blame Games for Violence, when you play a game, you are generally choosing to engage in an activity and can start and stop whenever you no longer are interested. They enjoy these video games, whether it is by themselves or with others. Many times, kids get together to play these games. It is almost a bonding time for them. We live in a violent world where incidents are studied to an extent. According to Do Video Games Promote Real-Life Violence? Pretty sure the number of people who play video games does not even reach the number of people that watch TV, and it is to be believed games are for children. So that has made the industry as easy target for headline-grabbing politicians. According to Video Games Promote Violence, Jenkins says, whenever you have anything that's so central to the life of kids, but wasn't part of the childhood of their parent, there's going to be a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of anxiety. Second, there are positives to playing video games. It is shown video games promote kids or teens socially and can serve as a fast way to relax and de-stress. Young adults have their own stresses in their lives, just as everyone else. These games are a way they can take out their anger and stress without hurting someone. By the time they get done playing, it's done. Their aggression is gone and calmness overcomes them. Statistically, it is shown that the crime-related violence is actually relieved by playing video games. Does the movie industry shy away from violence because children might watch? No. So why should they for video games? There are plenty of adults as well as children that play video games. Violent games introduce technology to children at a young age and prepare them for the more complex technology in the future. Video games give better hand-eye coordination, which is essential to people of all ages who play. They teach kids to follow directions, try new things without the worry of messing anything up. It even promotes teamwork at some time or another. Games are just a healthy way of competition. Finally, the real reasons for kids to buy video games. They are a source of entertainment. It is why kids buy movies, listen to music, read books, and also play sports. Family life is the main deciding factor on how much violence kids are inflicted upon. Some children see it more than others. This depends upon guardians, parents, kids at school, with the environment, and much, much more. A drunken father has a better chance of inflicting a violence idea upon his child than a video game. This is because children look up to their parents and expect them to do the right things. For children, games are in fact games with their own rules. Children know they are games that do not apply to performing them outside the game. Like it or not, we all explore elements of our personality that we hold back at some point. The graphics, quality, and sound all make games very interesting and irresistible to children. According to Video Games Not the Problem, it may be true that violent children just so happen to play video games, but non-violent children play video games as well. In summary, so as you can see, how is this harmful? It's not. Video games are a source of entertainment. Children may remember and see violence on these games, but it does not promote them to do harm to anyone. I have persuaded you that video games do not promote violence, that there are positives when playing video games, and what the real reasons behind video games really are. Children may seem mentally fine, but they may have a lot of anger bottled up with other activities in their lives and use violence in video games to release it. According to Wikipedia, video games have been the subject of debate and censorship due to the depiction of graphic violence, sexual themes, and consumption of illegal drugs, consumption of alcohol or tobacco, or profanity in some game. This is why there are levels of maturity on it. If you are letting your kids play some of these games way above their maturity level, then it is not the video gaming world's fault. Parents should also be cautious of what they say or do in front of one of their kids, because a child is more likely to repeat what they say rather than a video game.